Hey, what's up? I would say that a person's youth is essentially from the age 20 to 30. And maybe you can kind of expand it to, let's say, 18 to 40. But I think that 20 to 30 range is so critical. And I'll explain why. I think anything up to 18, 20 is you're really just a kid. Like you're having your lifestyle probably paid for by your parents. You're living the school life. You're not really having that many responsibilities. So yes, you're young and you're a kid, but you're still developing and you don't have that much control of your life, let's say. Now, between 18 or 20 to 30 to maybe 40 even, you're much more in control of your life. If you've started working, I mean, the whole trajectory is now you starting to take control of your life, to take on more responsibilities and really shaping your path, because up to 20, up to 18, 20, every kid is essentially the same. Yes, you're going to have some people with higher grades, some people with lower grades, some people that are better at this, some people that are better at that. But essentially, you've just gone through the schooling system, and a lot of people kind of in a similar spot where it's like, you're not that special, let's be honest. Like, you haven't done something that incredible. And maybe there's the rare exception, but for the vast majority of people, I think that's where their starting point really is. Now, 20 to 30, I think this is your peak youth. This is where you're taking on the world. This is where you're still fit. You're still, even if you don't go to the gym, maybe you've still got that young blood that's just pumping through your veins, that, you can eat cheap foods and kind of still maintain good energy, etc., etc. But, not that I recommend that or condone it, but I think at that age, your body can just tolerate it better. As you kind of reach 30 plus, then, things start to not work as well, and you start to become more sensitive to bad foods and things like that. So 20 to 30, I think people should go hard on whatever they're chasing, whatever they're after. If you're able to set it up so you work to get whatever you want in that 20 to 30 range, or to even set yourself up by 30 to be able to get that next stage, 30 to 40. I think 30 to 40 is still fairly young. It's at that age where people are maybe a little bit more established, but they're still thinking like, oh, actually, I'm not as old as I thought I would be when I was 20 or 18, even though I'm 38. Like your mind is actually, I feel like, is more youthful than your body might be as you start to age. And so you're still capable of if you're going to the gym, if you're exercising, if you're kind of taking care of yourself between 30 to 40, then you can really pull off something great here as well. After 40, I think a lot of things start to decline. It might be at a slower rate, it might be at a faster rate, but and maybe, if you do things well, if you got the right genetics, etc., maybe you'll still be able to go on an incline there. But I feel like for a lot of people around 40, you're probably going to really start to feel some kind of decline. Maybe a very small amount, but it's going to be there. And yeah, I feel like at that point, like, you have to say that your youth is over. I mean, if I was 15 and somebody told me they were 40, like a teacher, like, you're finished. Like, that's so old. And then when I was like about 20, 40 is still quite old. When I had 30, 40 is still quite old. 35, you start to think maybe 40 is not actually as old as you thought it would be. And it's funny how that perception changes as you get older, as you reach those older ages, but your mind is still like, because it's tough to explain how your mind ages. Like, physically your body ages, but the way you think, I'm not sure if you can put an age on that necessarily. Obviously, if you're a kid and you can't form sentences, or you can't do complex logic in your head or communicate that, then yes, maybe you've got a younger mind. But like, once you're an adult and you've kind of lived through some experiences, then, it's tough to separate the way somebody thinks when they're 30 versus 50, I would say. I mean, yes, there's a lot of different things that they've experienced that might be different, yada, yada, yada. But when it comes to like raw nature of humans, then I think a lot of it is similar. Like, if you put a 50-year-old with their friends and they're all joking about silly little things, and you look at a group of 30-year-olds joking about silly things, like it's very similar, just maybe the generational humor might be different. But yeah, I would say your prime youth is 20 to 30. And you see it a lot, I think, where people that are going to accomplish or do accomplish things that are really big, it often happens between 20 to 30. You know, like after university, I mean, not that I keep tabs on people, but sometimes I might have somebody on LinkedIn, or I have somebody on LinkedIn who knows somebody else on LinkedIn who might have been in the same class as me. Then I might see some kind of notification or post that somebody liked on LinkedIn of what they're up to. And it's like they're doing incredible things. And they're obviously the same age as I am because we went to university at the same time. Not that that's always the case, but I think in this case it is. And it's just quite crazy to see how far some people get between 20 to 30. And, you know, sometimes it takes people a little bit longer, let's say 30 to 40. But yeah, 20 to 30, I think, is prime time. 20 to 40, I think once you hit 40, like, there's a good chance your path is set at that point. And not that nothing big can't happen, but I feel like at this point, your habits, your daily life, your routines are so set that anything drastic is probably unlikely. So yeah, prime time, 20 to 30, go absolute ham. Thanks for watching. See you next time.